Yesterday, almost nobody outside of Cape Verde knew his name. Today, 5 million people follow him on Instagram. Not because he scored, not because he won anything, because he stood in a goalmouth in Atlanta and told Spain, the second best team on the planet, that they were not getting through, not once, not all night. Here is the full story of Vozinha and why what happened on June 15th, 2026 belongs in football history forever. First, you need to understand what Cape Verde actually is, not a country most football fans could find on a map. An archipelago, a collection of small islands sitting in the Atlantic Ocean off the west coast of Africa. Population, 550,000 people, smaller than most cities, and until October 2025, they had never, not once in their entire history, qualified for a World Cup. This was their first match, ever. Now, meet the man in goal. Vozinha was born in Mindelo, a port town of 70,000 people, on the island of São Vicente. His father was in the military. His mother worked long hours. He grew up with his grandparents, who gave him the nickname Vozinha. It means little voice. His father had wanted to name him Valdano after Argentine striker Jorge Valdano of Real Madrid. The authorities would not allow it, so instead of a striker's name, he carried a quiet one, and instead of becoming a striker, he became a goalkeeper. He turned professional at 25. Late. Very late. His debut club was an obscure team in Angola, then Moldova, then Portugal, then Cyprus, 5 years, then Slovakia, then back to Portugal, playing in the second division. 19 years of professional football, 1 trophy, a Cypriot Cup in 2019, no Champions League, no famous shirt, just showing up every season. In places the cameras never pointed. On June 15th, Cape Verde played their first ever World Cup match. The opponent? Spain, reigning European champions, ranked second in the world, a squad so deep that Lamine Yamal, an 18-year-old already considered one of the best players alive, started on the bench. That alone tells you the gap between these two teams. On paper, Spain had 74% of the ball. They hit 27 shots, 11 corner kicks. They brought on Yamal, Dani Olmo, and Nico Williams in the second half, 3 players who would start for almost any team on earth, and Vozinha, 40 years old, second division of Portugal, the man nobody had heard of, stopped all of it. 7 saves, man of the match. Final score, 0-0. Here is the detail that stops you cold. Vozinha turned professional in 2007. Lamine Yamal, the superstar who came on to try to break him, was born in 2007. The man sent to solve the problem is exactly as old as the goalkeeper's entire career. Think about that for a moment. When the final whistle blew, Vozinha did not run. He did not shout. He bent over near his post, alone, and he cried. Not from relief, not from shock, from 40 years of something finally having a moment to come out. His teammates surrounded him, the Cape Verde fans, the ones who managed to make it there, despite $15,000 visa bonds, to enter the United States, sang in the stands. And then, his phone died. 5 million people had already found his Instagram before he reached the dressing room. Cape Verde still have Uruguay and Saudi Arabia to play in this group. 1 point against Spain is already historic. 2 more points could send them into the knockout rounds, something nobody outside their islands dreamed possible. And if that 40-year-old goalkeeper in Portugal's second division keeps playing the way he played against Spain, the dream is very much alive. Here is everything in one breath. A man from a tiny island nobody talks about. A career spent in countries football barely covers, 40 years old. A nickname meaning little voice, playing in the second division of Portugal, given 1 chance on the biggest stage in the world, against the second best team on the planet. And he was the best player on the pitch, not because of money, not because of a famous club, because of 40 years of showing up when it was not glamorous, not rewarded, and not noticed. Until now. The game has not changed. You have. You're welcome. Subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. It means a lot.